Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for yet another cryptocurrency technical analysis update, and today I will be covering Bitcoin and also explaining you why at the moment I think Bitcoin is hanging on a very, very thin thread where we could potentially see much lower prices. I'm your host, Mike Williams. If you're just as excited as I am, then please hit that like and subscribe button so that you can always stay up to date with the cryptocurrency markets. Let's just get straight into it, shall we? Bitcoin at the moment is at a very interesting place. It is seemingly hanging on a very thin thread where at the moment it's not entirely clear whether we are going to bounce or whether we are going to see a drop to $24,000 or even much further below. To us and to me, it was not really that much of a surprise that we did so, because I have been doing technical analysis as usual, and I've created an Elliott wave count months in advance. This is a detail of it where after the drop from $29,000 all the way back to $26,000 and $24,000 on the derivative exchanges, I've created this sub Elliott wave count where I expected one more drop to the downside, after which I would expect a consolidation region back to $28,000, where I was telling my team in the tribe to be looking for a short. And surprise, what happened? It happened in almost exactly that structure that we got. We got our initial rise, we got another drop, and then we got a massive increase in price where I allowed myself to get into a really nice and juicy short. And at the moment, I remain short and I expect lower prices. Why so? Well, let's dive over to the chart and focus on what we can see. So originally, what I would basically do is just keep it very simple. I am under the impression that overall we have been in a very big range earlier on in the year and last year as well, where we have since then embarked in December/January on a really big, massive uptrend, right? And right now it really seems to be coming at a point where that might actually reverse into a potential downtrend. So the way that I'm going to construct the chart is simply as follows. What I would say, here we are again with Mike Williams white boxes, as you are used of me doing, allowing me to simplify the chart in such a way that everybody can simply understand it. This is the way that I'm looking currently at the chart, as we are simply consolidating in a really big high time frame sideways range. However, that is just not all, right? Because that does not give me necessarily a good idea of what is going to happen next. But if we refine these levels by simply, for example, pulling a fixed range from the start of the range to that range, then it immediately becomes clear why I have shorted and why I remain bearish. Because what I typically like to see in a range is full rotations to the upside and to the downside. And in this case, all incorporating with an Elliott wave count that really stems from all the way from $32,000, which is where I created that, and I did that stream and I gave that out as a bonus stream for the live members, for the tribe members, to observe and study, and that really changed my perspective on the entire chart, whether we are going to see higher prices first or we're going to see lower prices first. And the revelation there was really that I had just really great difficulty with making this into a bullish count, and then initially allowing me to short that $32,000 all the way at the top. However, that's all in the past, so actually it's not really that relevant, but it is important to mention because that is really where my bearish bias actually derives from. And as that progressed throughout the summer in a really big sideways range, not everybody agreed with me. As a matter of fact, almost nobody agreed with me, because over this time we saw hundreds millions of longs coming into the market throughout the summer, where people were basically buying the dip. And well, what can go wrong? You might have guessed it, this can go wrong. Over 1 billion liquidations in just one evening. And since then, we've been ranging, utilizing that sub Elliott wave count that I've got going on here, expecting that zigzag wave 4 to come into play right into this really nice white level over here, $28,000. Not only that, there was other confluences as well, Fibonacci confluences. Let me just show you from where that move actually started all the way to that bottom. Boom, we have really nice technical confluence. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we trade the charts. We don't trade charts based on rumors. We don't trade charts based on news. We are looking at the hard and cold facts. And that provides us with the edge that we need to be consistent and profitable each and every single day. Now, why do I think this is such a bearish reaction? Well, as a matter of fact, like I said before, I'm usually expecting full rotations of this range. Now, the fact that this did not happen and we actually got only to the middle of this range and got a really big rejection over there since then, essentially, if we zoom out into the lower time frames, we can also distill a more local sideways range where we've busted out, hit that level, then actually came back into it, confirming this high, and on top of that, confirming this rise in price as a partial rise of the range, which is extremely bearish. At the moment, price is simply returning back in the range. As a matter of fact, it is actually flipping that previously resistance now more or less into support. I'm not classing this as an exact level, but I'm rather classing this as a region. And we can see that price has fallen through, backtesting it, washing a little bit through it, and now simply just trading below it. So either one of two things can happen from here on out. Either we're going to see simply an extension of the range where we could explore this $24,000 again, which is the very, very, very important level. Not only because this is the last low, but this is also a level that has not been tested on the spot exchanges. So to me, it would make a lot of sense to at least test this very level. Now, another thing that happens is if we start losing this low, then if you would simply zoom out, and that is why zooming out of the chart is extremely important. Let me just clean it up for you. Why that is so incredibly important is to be able to judge whether there is good support below us. And as a matter of fact, it just not even using any technical analysis, just using my experience and intuition, projecting that on the chart, I can just blatantly see that there is very little support below us. So that is one of the reasons why the $24,000 is of the utmost importance to hold. And if we don't, then I foresee a really big drop to the downside where I would be literally looking at around $20,000. Now, is that the end of the world? No, of course not, because at the moment we are still not doing that. Although I'm biased to the bearish side, but we also need to pay attention to the point where we might be wrong, because in trading, nothing is a guarantee and nothing is a certainty. So I also want to be prepared where I need to change that perspective. And that perspective would change simply if I throw another white box on here, marking out this range. If we really start reclaiming this range and start trading back outside of it again, then first of all, that $28,000 comes really back into play. If we do this, I would class this as an early sign of strength where I would be looking for the $28,000 next. And if we start reclaiming that level, yeah, then I would have a good case of thinking that yes, this might have indeed be the low and we might indeed make that full rotation to the upside of that range again before we would see a more significant downturn, of which $29,000 to $30,000 is one of the most important levels to the upside. However, at the moment, we are very far away from that. And while I am aware of these levels, I have no reason at the moment to believe, because that is what the chart tells me. I'm looking at facts, not what I want to happen. And if I simply just look at the facts, at the moment of me making this video, price remains weak and I simply expect further drops to the downside. Hopefully this video has been educational to you and helps you get a grip on the chart. And also a last note that I want to say, At the moment, I'm working extremely hard to create a lot of content for you guys. The tribe is going to reopen again very soon, probably next week. And what we're going to have in store for you will blow your mind. We're going to have free content. We're going to have a course included within the membership as well, where you can learn exactly the way that I do personally technical analysis as well, and you can learn that as well. No, there's no fuzz around it. I'm just giving you the knowledge and for you to study and learn and become a consistently and profitable trader as time is progressing. So if you like what I'm saying here, hit those like and subscribe buttons. And yeah, thank you very much for your support as ever. And I am looking very much forward to what Bitcoin has in store for us this week and this month. And see you in the next video, where I will update you once again if we see a progression in the price. Have a great day and peace.